Thank you very much. Tucker Gomberg from Now Magazine in Toronto. In 1988, the Toronto target was set of a 20% reduction in greenhouse gases by the year 2005. We're now in the process of negotiating much smaller targets, and we're still not anywhere near reaching them. Canada, I think, is projected to be up, is it 20 or 25% as compared to 1990 levels. So the emission levels in Canada are going up instead of going down. You're talking about trying to reach reduction targets through consensus. I guess my question is specifically relating to the fossil fuel industry in Canada. There are huge subsidies from the federal government to develop new fossil fuel output, the tar sands and elsewhere. Mr. Axworthy, is there a commitment from Cabinet, from the government? I've heard from Mr. Chrétien directly that there's a commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but is there a commitment to stop the subsidy to the fossil fuel industry and move those subsidies over towards a renewable energy industry and an energy efficiency industry in Canada?
Perhaps I could start off with your observation that our target is a significant target for Canada. We agree it is a significant target and it will take very significant efforts to reach it. We believe, however, that there are two good developments recently. First is that even though emissions have continued to grow, and to grow while we have economic growth generally in the country, in the last couple of years, there appears in Canada, as there has appeared in some other countries such as the United States, to be a decoupling in the rate of growth in the economy and the rate of growth of emissions. So you are starting to see a leveling off in the rate of growth of emissions. That's the first point. The second, in other words, our population appears to be weaning itself off of fossil fuel growth and CO2 emissions, even though the growth in the economy continues unabated in Canada. The second point is the one that Mr. Axworthy has already made, and that is that we have to meet our targets between 2008 and 2012. We have just published our first business plan, which is an aggressive business plan, which will get us at the federal government level only a third of our way to the targets. With future business plans, with additions of further voluntary measures by industry, through behavioral change, through consumers, and with the addition of what we're negotiating this week in terms of access to international mechanisms and the role of sinks, we feel quite confident in Canada, although this is a significant target for us, that we will be able to meet the target and meet it on time.
Just the question was specifically the subsidies to the fossil fuel industry and moving those subsidies over.
Well, we just explained it in the last budget. $1.1 billion was given to a wide range of incentives and subsidies to provide alternate fuels, public transportation, reduction of emissions, better insulation, a whole variety of things. And I believe, looking at the Red Book, if the government is re-elected based on that particular document, that there would be further investment of funds, particularly in things like public transit. So I think that there is an effort to make. I'll tell you where I think, want to express it personally. It seems to me that one of the most important junctures at this meeting is to find the way in which we provide the means for southern countries to become part of the protocol. Clearly, over the next 20 years, the largest sort of source of new emissions will be coming from southern countries. And they are not part of this protocol, they're clearly part of this meeting, and that will take major investments by northern countries such as Canada. We will have to provide that kind of financial bridge to bring them as part of the protocol. This is, to me, a very special opportunity, these meetings in The Hague, to build the foundations for that. As Mr. Anderson told me when I spoke to him when I was coming here that once carbon goes in the air, it's not like Canadian, Indian, or Sri Lankan. It's just more carbon. And the way that you can develop effective means of protecting against widespread dissemination is important. So it seems to me that that's one of the areas that when we talk about how we can employ our resources effectively, but in addition to our own continuing domestic work, which Mr. Nymark has outlined, and we're very committed to, I think we also have to look at how we use our own resources to provide the incentive for southern countries to become part of this regime as well. And that's why I think that this will be one of the real efforts that we'll be making at this conference to work closely with them and with other countries to see how we can build the right kind of framework.
Cops are watching us.